Hello, everybody, and welcome to another one in our series, Breaking Down Barriers. My name is Chris Igwe, and in these short videos, I share with you some of my thoughts and insights around the topic that I believe should inspire, hopefully give you some ideas, and most importantly, allow you to go away and think about some other things and the way in which you can implement those thoughts and ideas and philosophies. The book itself is what inspires me. It's called Breaking Down Barriers, My Journey from a Small African Village to the World Stage. And in Breaking Down Barriers, I take topics and ideas, I break them down into very short chapters, very readable and very accessible for anybody of a young age or an older age. Whether your English is your first language or not, it allows you to explore some ideas for yourselves. Now, this particular one we're going to talk about is, and I've entitled this, Always Aim to Learn Something New. Aim to learn something new. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, you may say, I don't want to learn anything new, and that's totally okay. But one of the key things to learning something new is it allows you to grow. It allows you to explore. It allows you to discover about yourself, about the world you live in, the people you're with, and hopefully how you can bring joy and well-being to somebody else by acquiring a particular kind of skill or knowledge. Because through discovering new things, learning new things, and I don't mean just discovering in the sense of travel somewhere, but if you want to learn something that is new as a skill, as an idea, as maybe it becomes a hobby, or it is a hobby and you develop it even further. But what I really want you to get out of this short video is do something that is totally different from what you've done before. See where that takes you, see what you explore, what you discover, and how that allows you to be honest, to find joy and satisfaction for yourself and hopefully for other people. It brings you happiness in a way in which maybe you didn't think or imagine. Let me break it down for you. What does that mean? Well, when you learn something new, let's face it, you put your full energy, passion, drive, excitement into it. And it could be anything as simple as you want to take up pottery. You want to bake cakes. You want to learn how to cook. You want to learn a new language. You want to learn other languages. You want to learn a difficult language, Chinese or Russian, or maybe one of the Arabic languages. Any of those, what is it that you want to do which is kind of different from what you're currently doing and experiencing? Because in many ways, when you do that, apart from anything else, unless it's a solo thing that you're learning and discovering, which is okay. If you're doing things, for example, if you're doing pottery or you're doing cookery classes, or you want to learn about wines, how to smell them, how to taste them, what the best wines are, what the best regions are, those courses generally are done with other people. And when you do them with other people, you interact in a way that you don't or you haven't in your main line of life or business. Maybe you've got a job or role that is incredibly stressful, very demanding, a lot of responsibility. Well, wouldn't it be nice to do something totally different? Maybe it's as simple as learning a new piece of software. Maybe you just don't have technical skills. You're not good on the computer. You're not good on your mobile phone. You're not good at navigating systems. It could be just anything where you say to yourself, I want to explore that. I want to learn more about that. Because when you do, it takes you on a journey, an exciting journey, quite frankly, one where you discover new things. And in my book as well, I have different quotes. And this one is by Roy T. Bennett. And what he says is, to learn something new, you need to try new things and not be afraid to be wrong. Don't be afraid to be wrong, because nobody's comparing whatever it is you want to learn. If you're learning a language, for example, the pace at which you set yourself is your own pace. If you learn it with a teacher, then fantastic. He or she will go at the pace at which you want. Maybe there's a musical instrument you want to learn. You've always wanted to learn the piano or the clarinet or play the drums. But maybe something totally different, something eclectic, something wild. But that takes you on a whole journey where you discover amazing, amazing things, amazing people. And to be honest, you see the world in a very different way. Let me explain that to you, and you can think about it in your own world. It would be great to understand from you what is something new or crazy, or even you've thought about doing but you haven't done yet. I hope that by listening to this, you think to yourself, I can do that, or it sparks a flame or an idea. So in my case, one thing which I did, which quite frankly I had no idea I was going to do, but I went on this training program. I've been very involved in the personal development and growth industry for a very, very long time. I've sought out and gone to listen to some of the greatest speakers, some of the greatest trainers, some of the greatest motivational speakers, some of the greatest speakers, full stop, and just learn what it is that they have been doing and how they do it well. So on this occasion, I went to a program which, to be honest, I'd not known about before. I went to Scotland and learnt a particular personal development program. And in that program, one thing that was talked about was feng shui. And the person who was leading it in Scotland, he actually said, and he'd stumbled across it as well, and he started talking about feng shui. And as you may recall, back, this is a long time ago, 20 odd years ago, it became just the thing. Everybody was feng shuiing this, feng shuiing that, feng shuiing their house, feng shuiing their office. And as it turned out, I was enthralled by this concept and idea that I didn't know anything about, never heard of feng shui, to be honest. And feng shui, very simply, it's a Chinese geomancy learning tradition, if you like, and it's around wind and water primarily, fundamentally. It's also the way in which human beings interact with their environment to create the best possible environment and indeed good fortune and financial well-being as a result of it. But it's about 5,000 years old, been around for a very long time. And so I just thought, I want to learn about feng shui and understand how humans interact with their environment to create good health and prosperity and everything else. And I dived into this. And I did. I have lots of books, but I got a book on feng shui. And in this particular one, this is 9-Star Key, which is a way in which you study using your birthday or people's birthdays, exactly what that means overall in the holistic sense, and how you drive that within the 5 elements, essentially, because feng shui is based around the 5 elements of wood, fire, earth, metal, water, and what those together, depending on how they work. Some work against each other, some work in support of each other. I also went to and trained with Karen Kingston for a while, where she spoke about creating sacred places using feng shui. And if that wasn't crazy enough, I actually bought one of these and learned how to use it. A little bit rusty now, I must admit, but pretty complex, isn't it? To figure out exactly what that is and how you look at it and how you do all the readings. But I went on this journey. I studied, learned, trained with some of the best people in feng shui on the planet, who came from Australia, from China, from the US, and from the UK. And then I decided, well, I've learned so much about it. I wanted to, and was encouraged by a good friend of mine who ran a feng shui school. And we taught feng shui, she and I, for 6 weeks, 6-week program. And a bit like a community service where people came and we did a feng shui day, and we ran that for 6 weeks. And then I decided, well, I want to consult. So I did some consultancy. I went to people's homes and did a full assessment of where they lived, and in some cases did the offices as well. Now, to be honest, it was very time consuming for very little remuneration, because you go, you do the assessment, and then you've got to write it up and present it to them. But it was just an amazing, fascinating journey that I went on. So I just use that because it could be something as wildly different you'd never heard of, you never thought about. But why don't you do that? Because what it did for me for probably about 15 years or so, when I was totally involved and immersed, I had my day job and my role and everything else, but feng shui just fascinated me. I went on these courses, I went on training programs, and I had one of the top feng shui guys come and visit my home because we had an issue, and he was specialized in a particular area, and what he did was just amazing. It reassured me of the power of feng shui. So that's just a little glimpse. I've done other crazy things. I've learnt all sorts of other things and really motivated. So I'm talking about this from the heart. This is not just something I say, do it because it's kind of cool and hip. Maybe it is. But when I say I did 15 years of full study, assessment, really immersed in the whole world of the feng shui. And I've got probably about 20 of these books, different types of books that I've acquired, bought, learnt, and studied. And I refer to that simply to say, learn something new. Do something totally different from what you've done before and find out where that is going to take you, because it's going to be an amazing journey. You want to bring out the best where you go, wow, I didn't know that. Isn't this even more exciting about the world we live in and more exciting about you as a person, because you grow, and through that growth, you become more impactful, not only through your own life, but in the life of others as well, because maybe you can take them on a journey and say, look, this is what I'm doing. What about learning about wine or about films or studying this or studying that? Learn something new. So always seek opportunities to learn something new. Maybe not as big and deep and full as that. Maybe it's just a shorter program. Maybe you do, like I said, pottery, and you create something beautiful or not so beautiful and you hand it to someone as a gift. What about that? So I hope this has resonated, left you with some thoughts and ideas. Please feel free to like, comment, and share. And of course, subscribe to the channel. And I encourage you to buy the book as well, learn more about the other stories and the other aspects, and go back into some of the other videos that I've shared where I'm taking you through different aspects of the book to share through video form. So until the next time, thank you.